Well, I finally got the weeds out of my grapevine bed here, and I put down the fabric cloth, and I'm putting compost over top of it. And all you do is see that slit right there. You just cut that and then pull it up to the pole where you want it and slice from the ground up, which makes it open up and flex. And then when you put the compost and mulch on it, it rolls it back up against the post. Then you have to cut it at the grapevines, so 3 poles on a grapevine. And what you need to do is cut a piece about that, as wide as it is there. You need to cut one of these that width, and then you put these underneath the cuts. See that cut's open right there? Let me slide around here. The wind's starting to pick up a little bit, but it's been a pretty day. See? Just by putting one of these under it. Now when you throw this on there, a weed can't come through the cut. And you've got it up against the post. See it up against the post? And as you throw this stuff, the compost on it, all those little cuts will just fold up against the post as long as you throw the stuff in from the side. So anyway, I got to fill this up. I use that board to put under the fabric up to the tree and cut it with a razor blade on the board. It works a lot better. When you got an oblong little place like this and the fabric is square, you just tuck the corners under and put a little soil on it to make it stay there. Let me walk over here, and then this little weed barrier bed outline plastic ring is all the way over there past the board. It's been in the ground since about 94 or 5, and the soil is just washed down. This lot slopes toward the street, so all the rains have slowly covered up the bottom end, and I just want some mulch here, and I'll extend it. You can see a root there. It's not uncommon for an apple tree to have a root come up at the top of the ground. Now I doubled underneath where the cut was made. I folded flat up against that board, and I folded around here and put soil on it to make it stay, or the compost on it to make it stay where it was. Even I have to admit that that looks better than a bunch of weeds under it. Well, the weeds had gotten out of hand, so we took care of the weeds. So we put down a landscape cloth, and we put about 4 inches of compost on it. It'll settle down some. The apple tree, I pulled it away from the trunk, and I haven't done that yet, and I will when I cut this camera off. But that will prevent me from having to read in there very much. But between the ivy underneath those boxwoods, see all those roots right there? They were already into the grapevine bed. But at least it looks better than it did. One of the reasons I wanted to do this with the landscape cloth is I wanted to put compost on it. I'm trying to restore these grapevines back to the central trunk, and I need some healthy growth this year, and I'm hoping for some nice big bunches of grapes. And I want my apple tree to get the nourishment it needs without using fertilizer, because neither one of these really need a lot of fertilizer with their good soil, and they don't need any nitrogen. I don't want extra growth, I want healthy growth. And putting compost on it, it'll get a lot of the trace minerals, and compost is one of the better things to use on plants. It's more of an organic way of growing things.